What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Mom Mix. I'm your host, Sabrina. We are bringing it back with another MJB hit. Today's episode is entitled Everything Except Time to Myself, inspired by the Queen herself. But per usual, we are flipping the lens on what it means to be someone's everything. So grab your headphones and turn up the volume and let's get into this mix, okay? Okay, let's jump right in. Early in the song, Mary says something like, "You are my everything, and everything I do is because of you." And then she goes into talking about all because of this person, whoever it is, whoever her everything is, that this person is her world, and her world is never sad, and this person brightens her world. Now, when you hear that, it sounds like the most beautiful, poetic declaration of love you've ever heard. The kind of thing that you dream about, having someone who means so much that your entire world moves around them. And as moms, that line hits especially hard because for so many of us, we really do give up everything: our time, our rest, our goals, our bodies, our dreams, because of the people we love. But here's where it gets heavy. When you're constantly showing up for everyone else, reshaping your entire existence around their needs, their routines, their safety, their joy, where do you go? What happens to the parts of you that used to matter when you weren't someone's everything? When you became a mom, a partner, the default emotional regulator, the household CEO, the comforter, the scheduler, the nurse, the chef sometimes, the therapist, the driver, you don't just sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice whole pieces of yourself. Let's break this down a little bit to talk about it. So, the first thing you kind of sacrifice is self-care. It starts small. Missing those good everything showers, skipping meals, not scheduling that doctor's appointment. And I know some people are like, doctor's appointments ain't self-care, but it is. And if you want to stay around, go see that doctor. But yes, these little checkups to make sure that your health is in order can get pushed to the side when you're a parent. And then suddenly self-care, you forget. And it becomes a luxury instead of a necessity. Your needs, back burner. Because somebody needs something else right now. Let's get into sacrificing personal time. You used to sit in silence. I know I used to take marathon naps. I still try to. If you're spiritual, maybe do personal Bible study or dig into whatever nourishes your soul. But now, the moment you sit, someone is asking for a snack, complaining about homework, wanting money. I want to go to Ulta. Just anything. That interrupted hour feels like a fantasy. Even in rest, you're on alert. There's no off switch ever. I was just in the bed this morning, wide awake at 4 a.m. wondering what my son was doing because we left his baby monitor in the room with him. My mind wasn't right until we heard him wake up and started crying. That's crazy. Another thing is sacrificing your identity within relationships. So you still might have the same partner, the same best friend, the same title at work, but you're different now. You shape-shifted, adjusted, softened edges or toughened up, depending on what your role required. And sometimes you sit back and think, do they even see me anymore? Not the mom, not the provider, not the she's got it friend, but just me. Your identity becomes fluid in motherhood. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up a stranger to your own self, even while surrounded by the same people. That version of you who used to laugh, all the time, who used to move freely, that version took a back seat. You didn't lose the relationship per se, but you did lose part of yourself in it. Sacrificing moments and experiences, that's another one. How many moments have we skipped as moms? Trips we postponed, outfits we didn't buy, moments we half celebrated because the budget went to daycare, school clothes, or another grocery haul of snacks or 7-Eleven run. We do it because we want to raise healthy, well-adjusted children. We want our kids to feel safe, loved, and seen. But here's the question that lingers. If I'm your everything, am I anyone else's? Will our children, ever fully see what we sacrifice for their stability? Maybe not now, maybe not until they become parents themselves. And, we give everything knowing that we may never give it back in the way that we give it. And that's okay. We don't give because we want something back, or we shouldn't want to do that. But even in the exhaustion, we love our babies. We do. But love, real love, isn't always warm and fuzzy. Sometimes it's weary and worn out. Mary's song speaks to a love so deep that it becomes identity. But when you love like that, you start to fade. And I'm learning that if I disappear while trying to be everything for everybody, I can't be anything for anyone. So before we switch to the next segment, I do want to pause and just ask something real quick. Okay? So is it selfish to want to be someone's everything too? Not just the one giving, but the one that someone else sees as well, who considers, who pours into, who checks in on, who someone else chooses. We carry so much physically, emotionally, spiritually, and we do it mostly out of love. But deep down, don't we all want someone to see us not just as like a caregiver or a partner or a provider, but as everything? Here's some things to sit with. Okay. So, desiring reciprocity doesn't make you selfish, okay? It makes you human. It means your love tank is just running low and you're looking for a little fill up. That's not selfish. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you're selfish for that. You can still be grateful, or you can be grateful and still feel unseen. Yes. You're blessed to have your family. A lot of people want a family that can't have one. But wanting to be loved and poured into deeply isn't ingratitude. It's a reflection of your needs changing as you give more and more of yourself. Here's another one. Being someone's everything shouldn't mean being their only resource. That includes your partner. You can love someone fully, but if you're carrying their emotional load and yours with no return, it gets heavy. And this actually goes for any and every type of relationship. Kids are really exempted from this. And I feel that parents shouldn't burden their children with their loads. Being realistic about certain situations is different than offloading on them. Yes, they need to understand the situations of life at times, but they should be shielded. But in other relationships, if you're ever finding yourself offloading too much, check in on the person you are constantly dumping on. Not just, not saying that they can't handle it, but I think anybody, a friend would have, or, a partner or a husband would appreciate the check-in so that they can feel that they are someone something too. Sometimes we want to be everything because we've never been everything. And this one, this touches me, okay? Because as a Black woman, I understand this. And for a lot of Black women, especially daughters of single mothers, it hits deep. I haven't come from a single parent household, but I have friends that have come from a single parent household. Some of us grew up watching women give up and give without ever being fully cared for themselves. And it's hard. It's hard watching that. And I want to be real here and say, I recognize my privilege, and I've been fortunate enough where I have had the experience of being the center of someone's care more than once. And I know that is not something that everyone gets. And if that's not your story, I see you and I honor that. And I'm sorry that love and care haven't always found you in the ways that you deserved. Still, what I've learned is this: even when you've experienced being cared for, motherhood can still shake your foundation. Because once you become everybody's safe space, it's easy to forget what it feels like to be someone else's. Okay. So, now we're here. Okay? Grown women, some healing, some surviving. All of us just trying to make sense of it. Sense of what it means to love deeply, give endlessly, and still crave the kind of care that feels rare and sacred. And that brings me to today's mixtape memory. Because before all of this, before the schedules and the snack bags and the sippy cups and the Ulta trips, life looked real different. All right. So before babies, before bedtime battles and the backseat messes, me and my husband's world was wide open. We didn't realize it, but we had all the time in the world. Even before we had our son, we had gotten back to a place where we were back to sleeping in. We got back to going out for blocks of time without a sitter. We watched full series of things on Netflix and Hulu in one sitting. We said crazy things like, I'm bored. Can you even imagine? I mean, we say it now, but it's because we're always in the house. Rewinding all the way back to when we used to say stuff in our early 20s, like we wanted the noise. We couldn't wait to build a family, to have little feet running through the house. We rushed through the quiet, romanticized the chaos, and now we're here. We love the noise, but we are both searching for moments of quiet and stillness. And the truth is, we didn't appreciate what we had until it was gone. And we love our family. We love them. But maybe, just maybe, we're allowed to miss it. And even while we love what we have, we can miss what we missed out on. All right. Now let's flip the tape to our next segment. Side A, side B. You know how we do. It's two versions of the same story. So, side A, you have a baby at the end of the day, okay? It's going to be you and that baby. Every cry, every bottle, every diaper, every night wake up. You eat standing up, if at all, or just throw things at your mouth when you can. Showers, for some, they could become optional. I really at least tried to get like 5-minute showers in there, okay? And your sanity hanging by a thread. Okay, side B, you had another baby. And you also have an older sibling around. Now, let me be clear. We don't abuse her for her help or anything. We don't make her be the third parent because she's not the parent. But if she can watch the baby for 20 minutes while I can take a everything shower, breathe or sit, or run to the store real quick, that time is sacred. And her presence gives me back a small piece of myself that I wasn't able to have when I had her. Both sides are real. Both sides are hard. Both sides are interesting. But that's contrast. It's everything. Okay. Here's your mom bars for the week. 15 seconds of real talk. Being someone's everything sounds poetic until you realize it means having nothing left for you. That's all I have for the bars. Love is beautiful, but love without rest, that's just a slow burn to resentment. You can be everything for them, for your family, for your children, for your friends, but don't forget you're something too. We should never forget that. All right, mamas, if today's mix hit a little too close to home, just know this: you're not alone. We're all out here trying to balance being everything, and we're holding on to anything that's still just ours, okay? So, if you felt this episode, I need you to do 3 things for me, okay? Follow this podcast because the next mix is always coming. 2, set your notifications so you never miss an episode drop. And 3, share this with another mama who's out here running on love and just fumes. And you know that she's trying. All right. I'm Sabrina, and this was the Mom Mix. And until next time, protect your peace and take that everything shower that I was talking about at the beginning. And remember, you matter too. Have a good week, guys.